Hi there everybody and welcome to this week's live stream GuitarQuest lesson. Hope you're all keeping well. So we will be continuing where we left off. So GuitarQuest 4, we're about halfway through. So we'll pick up from there and see where we get to today. So before we get started, just the usual kind of things to think about. So if you're on a device that's got any notifications that might ping away, best to turn those off so we can get our dedicated half an hour's guitar time. What else have we got? If there's any children watching, then I would suggest have an adult in the room just to help explain things. And we've got the chat function available. So if you're watching this live, then it's there. So please do ask away. If you're watching this back at a later date, then ask questions in the comments and I will do my best to get back to you. So yeah, that's pretty much that in terms of things to think about before we get started. So let's check our tuning. So bottom E, so you just want to make sure your guitar is in tune with that. And then we're going to go to check our A string, because we've been doing this by ear recently. We're going to go up to the 5th fret and play the 5th string, which is the note A. We compare the open 5th string to that and adjust the 5th string until it sounds in tune. Once you're happy, you then go to the 5th fret on the 5th string, the A string, and that's the note D. That's correct. So we play the 4th string and adjust that until it sounds the same. Then once we're happy with that, same again on the next one. We go 4th string, 5th fret, which is the note G. That's the correct note. And then we compare our open 3rd string and we adjust that until it sounds the same. And then the next one, this is the only one that's a little bit different. We're going to go to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, on the G string. That's the note B. So we compare our open 2nd string to that note and we adjust it until it sounds the same. And then we go back to the 5th fret on the 2nd string, which is the note E again. And we compare our open 1st string and just adjust the 1st string until it sounds the same. So when you're happy with that, we then strum a few chords. So let's start with an E chord. So we're just going to strum through that. And you just want to check and listen, does it all sound okay? And let's try G. And then a D. So we want to be listening out for, is there anything that sounds a little bit discordant or anything like that? In which case just go and double check things. Obviously I talked through that fairly quickly today, but we've been over it in more detail in previous lessons. So all the GuitarQuest 4 lessons have had, we talked about tuning in that way. So just go back and watch some of the earlier ones where I talk about it in a bit more detail. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you really get stuck, just use a guitar tuner if you have one. I say that, I don't mean that to be flippant in any way, but it's a tool that's there, so we might as well use it. But we just want to develop our ears as well and try and fine tune those as best we can. So let's have a quick go at our warm up then. Same as last week, so we're going to go across all the strings in a chromatic run. So we're going to go, I'll just demonstrate, so the 6th string, open, then 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, same on the 5th string, same on the 4th, and we just work our way up. When we get to the G on the 1st string at the 3rd fret, we just come straight back down. We're not going to play it twice, so just come straight back down. Okay, so we'll have a go at that. Again, we've done this for a few weeks now, so check out some of those lessons if you want a little bit more detail on what we're doing. So yeah, we're taking it nice and slow, this kind of speed. Okay, so after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the G once, and straight back down. Okay, cool. So that's that. If you find that easy, just try going a little bit faster. We're not going to do that today, but that's just kind of the progression or a progression you could do with that. It's just great for kind of coordinating left and right hand because there's a lot going on, even though it's a very simple kind of exercise. So, at least in theory anyway. Okay, so let's have a go at our arpeggios as well. So we talked about this last week. We talked about an E chord. So we're going to play the 6th string. So first of all, we make the E chord shape, which I'm going to assume that you know. So we're going to play then the 6th string, then the 1st string, and then the 2nd string, and then the 3rd string. And with those, we're going to use our 3rd finger or ring finger for the E, middle finger for the 2nd string B, and 1st finger for the G sharp, the 3rd string there. So we go thumb, 3rd, middle, index, thumb, 3rd, middle, index. So that's the initial bit. But what we're going to do, so we do that once, and then on the 2nd round we're going to move our thumb across to the 5th string and play that. So the 3 fingers stay the same, so it's just the thumb that's moving. So it's 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's try it together. We'll go similar-ish kind of speed to that, maybe just a little bit slower. Okay, so after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th string, 6th, 5th, and then we would carry on. And in fact, I should have gone back to the 6th and wasn't concentrating and didn't. So, but that's the idea. So what we're going to do now is the same kind of thing, but on an A chord. So, but this time we're going to start on the 5th string. We do the same strings 1, 2, 3, and then where we change bass note, we're going to go to the 6th string. So I'll just demonstrate. So we're going to go strings 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we just see if we can go around that 4 times. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense. Do fire away if it isn't though. So let's try it. After 4, so starting this time with the thumb on the 5th string. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. To the 6th string, 5th, 6th, back to the 5th, 6th, do one more round, 5th, and the 6th. So that's that. So that again, very good practice on the right hand and getting the fingers moving a bit more independently of each other. Next week, the plan would be to do that on a D chord, and then we can start putting that together in a chord progression, just to give you a heads up of where we might go. So I'll play it a bit faster, but if we were going like starting on the A, then we go to the D, which we haven't talked about yet, but we'll do that next time. Then E, and then back to A again. So you can sort of hear that bass line creeping in, so you get this kind of so that's kind of where it's going, but obviously by continuing with the chords and on strings 1, 2 and 3, that sort of fills the space out and we just get that bass movement. So that was a quick demonstration of where we're heading with that. You know, and that kind of pattern can be done on any chord really. So it's just something, just a different idea, slightly different way of playing, and something that I thought would make a nice change from just everything that's in the book really. So, okay. Talking of which, let's get back to the book. We're going to pick things up at exercise 16, which is the T for 2 accompaniment. So, kind of similar to what we've just been playing in terms of arpeggios. So I'll just talk you through it briefly. Again, we talked about this one in a reasonable amount of detail last week, so check that lesson out if this doesn't make any sense for any reason. But we're going to start off with a bit of this F chord shape. So you've got C, 2nd string, 1st fret, A, 3rd string, 2nd with the middle finger, and F, 4th string, 3rd with the 3rd finger. And we're going to play the thumb on the 4th string, index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd. And that's going to be our pattern. So the index and middle fingers always play strings 3 and 2, and then the thumb is just going to move around across those different bass notes and strings to get where we need to get to. So our F, the first bar, sorry, is going to be like this. Then as we come on to the second bar, all we're going to do is put our middle finger on the C sharp, 2nd string, 2nd fret. That one we want the lowest note to be A, so our thumb plays the 5th string, and then the other notes are the same, or strings are the same I should say. Now the third bar, this is the one which we want to think about a little bit. So we're going to make a bit of a D chord shape, but we don't need the middle finger down, so we're just going to be on fingers 1 and 3. Same pattern on the right hand. Then as we come on to the next bit, we've got to get our middle finger over to the G. And after that it's just open strings. That's freed up fingers 1 and 3 to get to the C chord shape. And with the C you can put the middle finger down if you want. We're not going to play that string, so it's not really relevant, but you can do if you want. And then the next one we just got to get the 1st finger over for the G sharp, 3rd string, 1st fret. So let me just demonstrate that bit. So from the beginning we're going to go. And then that gets repeated, and we play it 7 times in total before we come to the second to last bar, which is played 3 times, which is just that same as the first bar, before we eventually finish on that F. So the reason for the unusual number of repeats and things is just so that it fits exercise 15, so you can play along with the track. We're not going to play all 7 now. What we'll probably do is the first 4 bars 4 times. Then we'll do the second to last bar twice, and then we'll finish on the F. Okay, so again, hopefully this is all making sense. Let's give it a go. So we're going to start on that F shape, possibly the most tricky shape in this sequence, but a very good one to know. So, okay, here we go, just nice and slow. So we'll go, just give you a heads up, this kind of speed. Something around that, okay? So after 4, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to beginning. Play again. And back to beginning again, it's the last time. Carry on, play this bar again, and then finish on the F. Cool, okay, so a slightly abbreviated version of the whole thing, but you get the idea, or at least hopefully you do. Obviously the the full track and that is on my YouTube channel, so check that out and play along with that. You know, sometimes things like that can feel a little bit not necessarily the most inspiring. I don't know, because it's, you know, it's just a rhythm kind of thing. But sometimes the repetition of doing it over and over is really helpful, because it just helps consolidate your technique and some of the shapes, the chord shapes and things like that. So so yeah, worth spending some time on it, in my opinion. So, but let's move on. This is a bit I wanted to get onto today. This is moving up to the 5th position. So in GuitarQuest, mainly GuitarQuest 3, we talked about the notes on the top 3 strings in the 5th position. So we had C, D, E, F, G, A, B and C. But what we didn't do was talk about the notes down here. So that's what we're going to do today. So at the top of page 13, you should be able to see the notes written. Basically it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so we know those notes down here. We've talked about them, you know, we first talked about those in GuitarQuest 1 and 2, so hopefully you're familiar with those. So what we're going to do now is find those notes in the 5th position. So the A is the 6th string 5th fret, B is the 7th fret, and then C is the 8th fret. And if you sort of think about how it's played over here, open, 2nd, 3rd, you know, there's the open string, which is almost like a -1 fret if you like, because it would be here if we could play it, but obviously we can't, it's the open string. But you go up to B and you've got the fret in between and then they're adjacent, so it's the same kind of thing here. So we start on the A, we skip the next fret, get to the B, and then we've got the C at the 8th fret. Okay? D, E and F down here, same idea. So you've got open string, nothing at the 1st fret, then the 2nd and 3rd. So it's going to be the same here. So we play the 5th fret, nothing in the next fret, the 6th, and then we go 7 and 8. So those first, or strings 6 and 5, we're going to go frets 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. Okay, and you want to rather be thinking of 5, 7, 8, ideally be thinking A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so that's that, and then we just got 2 more notes on the 4th string, which are G and A. So G is the 4th string 5th fret, and A is the 7th fret. And again, if we think of G down here, A is a couple of frets away. It's not at the 1st fret, it's at the 2nd. So we just do the same kind of logic here. Okay. So just to recap, then we're going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay. Now we do know how to read all these notes on the stave because we played them before, so that's cool. But obviously they're in a different position now. So appreciate that might be quite a lot to take on board in effectively what's going to be quite a short space of time. So just do your best when we come on to the playing it together and the next exercise as well. But let's try it together. So we're just going to play those 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. In fact, I can't count. So okay. So let's start on the A. So after 4. It's nice and slow. So 3, 4. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then A. Okay, we do it one more time. We're going to shout the fret numbers out as we go. After 4 again. So 3, 4. So it's 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, and 7. Okay, so those are the notes. In terms of practicing them, I would, you know, you could use them as a kind of coordination practice, you know, to do that sort of thing, you know, between left and right hand. That's absolutely fine, good thing to do. But the more important thing is to start associating what these notes are in this area here. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That's the kind of the key thing that I want to try and get across at this point. But let's move on to exercise 17. I'll talk you through it. In terms of the notes and things, it's not particularly difficult. It's just that they're in a different position. So that's the challenge. Okay. So in the first bar, we start at the 5th fret for our A on the 6th string. Then we go D to E, so 5th string 7th, and then 5th string 5th. And then we're going to come up to the F, so that's our 8th fret. And then we kind of just, we come down to the E, and then we're going to go 6th string 8th for the C, and then 6th string 7th for the B. So you've got A, B, D, F, E, C, B. Okay? So, why don't we try just that bar together and just see how we go. Okay, so after 4, so 3, 4. Okay, and then on to the next note. So hopefully you get the idea. As I said, I appreciate it's a lot of, or potentially quite a lot of new information, so just take the time to practice that. But as we come to the second bar, we come back onto our low A, and then we're going to come up to the high, or the higher A, so 4th string, 7th fret, and we just kind of come down a bit of a scale, so A to G, E to D, so 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, and then up to the 8th fret for the F at the end. Okay, so that sequence is now... That's it. And then the next 2 bars are just the same. Okay, so effectively we've covered the first 4 bars now. So let's try that together, just nice and slow, and see how we go. Okay, so after 4, so 3, 4, 1, 2. Sorry, I missed a note there, but let's try again on that next bar. Okay, so again, hopefully it makes sense, even if you can't quite play it yet. Hopefully the idea is there and it's all good. Just in terms of right hand, I'm using my fingers. You could easily use your thumb on this and just play every note with the thumb. That's fine. You know, at this stage, it's more about getting the notes down. So, okay, let's move on. So the next 2 bars are basically exactly the same, except we move everything 1 string to the floor. So we start on the 5th string, 5th fret, rather than the 6th string, 5th fret. And the note that we've got to watch out for here is the B flat. So again, just taking you back a step, when we were playing, I think it was in GuitarQuest 3, we talked about B flat. So we learned the note A, 3rd string 2nd, and we know that B flat, from previous lessons we talked about, is 3rd string 3rd fret. So it's just the adjacent fret. So when we're at this A here, 4th string 7th, the B flat is just the 8th fret. So the logic is still the same. You know, a fret is always, or, you know, 2 adjacent frets is always a semitone apart. So if they're a semitone apart over here somewhere, there'll be a semitone apart over here, there'll be a semitone apart over here. So it's all the same, okay? So you can, if you get stuck, you can always think back to this area of the fretboard, which you probably know much, much better, and think what's the kind of the relationship between the frets and the notes, and try and work it out in the other area of the fretboard, wherever that might be that you're trying to play something. So, okay, so let's have a look at bar 5. So we're going to start on the D, 5th string 5th fret, then we're going to go A, 4th string 7th, G, 4th string 5th, then we're going to come up to the B flat, the 8th fret on the 4th string, then the A at the 7th, and then F, 5th string 8th, E, 5th string 7th. So if I just play the very first bar, we've got that, and now when we come here, exactly the same, just on the next string to the floor. So if you find you're struggling to find all the notes, sometimes you can think in terms of patterns, and this particular tune is written in that way that you could think of it like that if you wanted to. Okay, so bar 6 then is exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same. It's the same idea as bar 2. So we start off D, 5th string 5th fret. Then we're going to come up to the D, 3rd string 7th. So we haven't talked about that note as such, but we did cover that in GuitarQuest 3. So I'm hoping you'll remember that. But yeah, so we've got 5th string 5th, 5th string 5th, 3rd string 7th. C is 3rd string 5th. A, 4th string 7th, G, 4th string 5th, and then we're going to come up to that B flat again, 4th string 8th. Okay, so those 2 bars then, we're going to go like this. So okay, So let's try those two together. Okay, after 4. Okay, so 3, 4. Okay, and then bars 7 and 8 are the same as bars 1 and 2. So let's try from the beginning and see if we can get down to that repeat mark at the end of bar 8. Okay, so just nice and steady and slow in that as well. Okay, so here we go. So 3, 4, same thing again. Same pattern but on the 5th string. Back to like the first bit. Okay, and then you would go back and play that again. We're not going to do that right now. The final chord, just so you know, is A and E, so it's an A5 shape. So I think we talked about power chord shapes in GuitarQuest 3, I think. Yeah, it's 5th string 5th fret and, no, sorry, 6th string 5th fret and 5th string 7th fret. And you play the two together. You could either pluck them, thumb and index, or do a little strum with the thumb and just catch those 2 strings. Just try and avoid the others. If I was going to strum it, I'd also allow my 3rd finger just to sort of kind of slacken down a little bit, so it mutes the 4th string. So if I do strum it and I accidentally catch that 4th string, it's muted and therefore not going to affect the overall sound. Okay, so let's put the tune on, have a listen. I'll bring the music up on the screen, point at where we are as we go along. So this is quite a rocky kind of tune, so yeah, a little bit different to what we've been doing recently. But yeah, let's have a go. Hope you like it, and here we go. Okay, cool. So that is exercise 17, Stormy Skies. So the challenge is obviously getting those notes down around the 5th position. Now, just before we finish up, I'd just like to talk to you about number 18, because the challenge here is basically the same song but played with swing. So I'll just demonstrate a little bit and we'll put the song on. We'll talk about this more next week, but it'd be more like... the difference, hopefully. And then finishing there, imagine I would have done the repeat. So let's have a listen again. So the backing track for number 18 is the same notes, the same kind of chords, but you'll hear a very different kind of thing, and it gives you an example of, you know, a tune can be portrayed in many different ways. So have a listen to this. This is much more jazzy sounding than the previous one, which was obviously quite rocky. So see what you think. Okay, so there you go. Same tune, played with swing and a slightly different chord progression, and it sounds, I would say, very different. But you know, leave you to judge that, and it'd be interesting to see and hear like which one you prefer. You know, obviously, you know, if you're more into your rock playing, you're, I would assume, much more likely to like number 17. If you prefer a slightly more jazzy approach, then probably number 18 is going to work better for you. So. But yeah, just have a play about with both. Ultimately, you want to be able to play it with swing, without swing, whatever. You just, to be as versatile as possible, you just want to be able to play it in both kind of formats, really. So, okay, I think that's a good place for us to finish up for today. So hopefully that gives you plenty to be getting on with. I wanted to make sure we got on some really new stuff today, so I think we've done that. But let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the lesson, please do give it a thumbs up. Please share it around with other people if you know anyone that you think might benefit from this style of lesson that's available. And other than that, I'll be back same sort of time next week. So best of luck with all the practice, and I'll look forward to seeing you next Thursday. So take care then, everybody, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye bye.